Dear Pop, I'm writing this letter to you because there's many things that I wanted to say to you, but I never did. I never said to you, I love you and thank you for taking care of me. We never spoke these words or showed any emotions with each other. I guess this was the Japanese way. For over 20 years, I've been giving presentations to high schools and college and community organizations about the Japanese American experience because I want to keep that story alive. But with my own family, I can't. My father's name was Keiji Kaku. He was born in 1915 in Arosa, California. He always felt that California was his home. Keiji was a very proud young man. He had just turned 25 and he wanted to serve in the Army. So he enlisted in 1941. And then when Pearl Harbor was attacked, his commanding officer said, Mr. Kaku, you need to leave. Even though he was born and raised in the United States and an American citizen, because he was ancestral of Japan, he was kicked out of the Army. And they were sent to internment camps, my father and my entire family. Often during dinner, when the subject of the camp came up, you would go on and on. I wish I was more empathetic with you and supported your anger. He walked into the internment camp wearing his uniform. And I think he probably put his chest out saying, look, you're pointing your rifle at me. I'm wearing the same uniform you are. He said, I was in your army and you kicked me out and then put me in this hellhole. In the camps, the War Relocation Authority forced incarcerates to take a so-called loyalty questionnaire, featuring two infamous questions. Question 27, are you willing to serve in the armed forces of the United States? And question 28, will you swear unqualified allegiance to the United States and forswear any allegiance to the Japanese emperor? If you refuse to answer or answer no to either question, you became known as a no-no boy. My father, very angry, did not answer the question. If you were considered a no-no, then you were disloyal, traitor, and the entire family was included. And the no-no boys from the other prison camps were all transferred to Tule Lake. Refusing to answer the loyalty question must have taken a lot of courage. I tried putting myself in your position. Having volunteered to serve in the United States Army just to be kicked out and sent to prison. "80 years later, I visited Tule Lake. It's hard to believe so many people were held here. I didn't imagine that I would get emotional coming here. This is the place where my family was treated like traitors in our own country. My father was serving in the army. Then suddenly he's kicked out, locked up, and asked to prove his loyalty on a sheet of paper. The only way he felt he could hold on to his dignity was to renounce his citizenship. Your strength to stand up for your rights as an American shows you were not afraid of speaking the truth for your rights. I never said, I am so proud of you for doing this. After Tule Lake, my family was deported to Japan. Now, I did hear many stories from my mother and father on the first few months of living in Japan. They were barely surviving because they had no food. In 1948, I was born in Japan. I was named Akira. From 1946 to 1955, we were stateless without a country. Then, a civil rights attorney helped my parents argue that they renounced their citizenship under duress. They won the appeal and got their citizenship back. So my father and mother were able to pay for a passage back home. When my parents came back from Japan, they said, Akira needs an American name. Someone said, well, there's a candy called O. Henry. So without any legal name change, they said, Akira, you are now Henry. And from now on, we only speak English. What does it mean to be a loyal American? To declare loyalty to the United States despite the way you are treated? Or to stand up for your rights as an American citizen? I wish I could tell my father, I now understand what he went through. As a father, you had to start your life over several times. Once when you were incarcerated, then when you were sent to Japan, and then to start all over again, coming back to the U.S. These words, thank you, I never said to you, I'm sorry. Your son, Henry. When I was very young, coming to America, I didn't have friends to play with after school. So I would come home, study my English, and then just sit and do origami. I probably folded over 20,000 cranes in my lifetime. The cranes in Japanese history are almost like a prayer. If you make 1,000 cranes and you make a wish, your wish will come true. And I wish for people to know that this injustice did occur and to talk about it. I still find it difficult to talk about these things with my family. Part of me wants to protect my children from the dark parts of our history. But I want to keep this story alive because we, as Americans, can never let this happen again.